Hey folks, welcome to another TWiP Pro Photo Critique session. This is session number 15. This is TWiP. All right, like I said, this is session number 15 of the TWiP Pro Photo Critique session. I'm gonna sit down with my friend, Mr. Troy Miller, to step through some of the latest submissions to the hashtag Photo Critique channel within TWiP Pro. Lots of cool submissions this week. I think we have 9 to go through, Mr. Troy Miller. What do you think, man?
Yeah, no, 9. Yep, and there are some awesome ones in here. I've got some favorites already.
You got some favorites? Cool.
I do, yeah.
We will compare notes and see if your favorites match up with my favorites. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what my favorites are. So just know that I have some favorites in there. So before we jump in, man, what have you been up to? I heard a rumor that you're about to go like visit some lava or something like that. What's going on?
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that lives in Hawaii on the Big Island, and he let me know that there's supposed to be some really extravagant lava flows happening, which basically means great photographs. And since he lives there, he knows where to go. So he's like, come on down. So,
but I thought you were afraid of fire. You didn't like photographic fire. I don't know where I heard that from. Is that true?
Yeah. No, it's the flying part that I'm not a big fan of. The fire stuff I'm okay with.
You'll be fine either way. Just don't combine those two things. You'll be good to go. That could end badly. Just get over there and hang out. So yeah, lava, man. I haven't seen lava. I've always wanted to see, Earth being created. It's like, that just seems magical to me, to see planet being created rather.
He has some most amazing stuff. You can look him up. His name is Don Herzler, and he has a Lava Light Gallery in was it north of Kona? I think. I don't know the whole area, but his images are they're just mesmerizing to me, to see these abstracts that he's shot and then see it flowing into the sea. And I have no idea what we're gonna get. I have no idea. And we're gonna go shoot some Milky Way. And
that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. You know, we've got a TWiP Pro member that lives out there in Hawaii. You guys gonna hang out together, grab a coffee or something?
I don't know. I don't know if we have time to run into him. I don't know where he lives, but I know he's there.
All right. Well, you know who you are. It's Kyle Nishioka. Kyle, you know where you are. Connect with Troy on TWiP Pro. Maybe you guys can go hang out. All right, man, let's dive in. We've got some cool submissions. The first one up is from Andrea, also known as Andy S. in the community. She calls this one Utah Road Trip. What do you think of this one?
Let me there we go. This makes me want to be there. And every time I'm in a place like this, I'm like, what is just on the other side of this?
Aliens.
Yeah, and this is one of the images in this set that I'm thinking, man, would this look good in infrared?
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for it. I should have wrote it down. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, this one would be awesome in infrared. This is a really beautiful image, and I played with it a little bit in post, and I think the image, the way it is right now, we're lacking a little bit of saturation and contrast. But overall, this is the kind of image that if somebody else was standing there, would they get the same shot? So how did you do this differently? What could you do to, really draw somebody into the shot? What were you seeing that was so cool there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on and not like a core hook.
Yeah, that would have been my feedback as well. Same thing. I want to go there. I want to go hang out there and explore. I feel like there's lizards behind every bush in this shot. But yeah, I agree with you. Infrared or black and white on this shot. And I think when I was looking at it, I was thinking, Andrea probably, if she had converted this to black and white and maybe picked one of these bushes, like say that bush in the foreground there, the lighter one on the right side, if she had picked that one and made that like the subject and then sort of dimmed everything else back just a little bit in black and white and brought the contrast and the brightness of that one up just a little bit, then you'd have something, your eye would go instantly to one thing. Or maybe it's that dead wood in the background, everything else is kind of darker, and then that dead wood pops out of there somehow, and you crop it so that it's obvious that that wood back there or the bush is the subject. I think that's the main thing missing in this image for me, is like, what is the subject of this image? You agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Every image needs a subject. And the way that our eyes flow through an image is we enter in the top left-hand corner like we're reading a notebook. And then it flows through the image, and we're looking for patterns, colors, bright spots, things like that that draw our attention. And then we keep hovering around in the image, just trying to feed on it a little bit. And this is one of those kind of images where there's not a hook. You know, what's the subject? What do you want me to look at? We have to lead the eye to that. So using leading lines and, again, colors and shapes. This has a lot of stuff happening all at once.
Yeah.
So simplify the frame.
Yep. Simplification and subject. But yeah, I would love to have seen what this scene looks like in infrared for sure. What do you think it would have looked like in infrared?
In infrared, it would have been great, because what you would get is it looks like it's cloudy, but there's still infrared light. So the plants in the foreground are probably going to go brighter. The sky is going to go a little bit darker. And that's going to create some separation in this image that we need as well, which is depth.
Yeah.
Because right now, everything is kind of the same focus, the same depth of field, and the same brightness. And we need depth.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Cool. All right. Let's step into the next image. And thank you, Andrea, also known as Andy S., for your submission. The next image here is, this is from a new member, Greg Kolonowski. This is Jawstone-Lamar. There you go.
I don't know who they are, but I wish I was watching them. That looks like that's good.
You don't know who Jawstone is?
I don't.
Musician.
Did I know?
I'm going to go out on a limb for you here and say that they're musicians. Jawstone is a musician.
Maybe jazz, maybe a little bit of jazz in there. I see a trumpet and a saxophone and a bass guitar. Yeah, it looks sweet.
I was going to say Google Jawstone. You'll be good.
Yeah, Spotify. I'll go.
Spotify it, yeah. Yeah, but this image is cool. I mean, what do you think?
I dig it. I really do. Now, this is one of those kind of shots where, you know, you read from the top left corner, that light draws me down right into the singer. And then as you're looking through the frame, you look over to the right, and here's this guy over on the right with this amazing expression. You can just hear him screaming. Mm-hmm. I just love it. My only suggestion in this image would be some dodging and burning. And I would burn down the gentleman behind the woman singer on the left. He's a little bit bright, detracting from her. Mm-hmm. And then maybe accentuate that light that's coming in on her a little bit more. But you know, there's not much to do to this. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. That was my only comment, actually, was the guy out behind Jaws on the left there. Just the whole the brightness of him relative to the actual subjects of the image, which is her and the singer on the right. Just to darken him down a little bit and emphasize her. You know, when I see these, you know who I think of when I see these kind of images, right?
Yeah.
Steve Brazel. Yeah,
our
doing
friend Brazel.
Yeah, concert photographer extraordinaire. This is right in his ballpark, and I wonder what he would have done to this. So, Steve, if you see this, we love your comments in TWiP Pro about this image. I'd love to know what you would have done to this image as a professional, all the time concert photographer. But
yeah, this is a good shot though. A lot of emotion captured in there. That's really good.
Yep, love it. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next one here. This next shot, hey, another one from Andrea, also known as Andy S. This is Utah Road Trip Dixie National Forest. There you go.
Very cool. My first thing is again, I want to be there, right? Like you look at these kind of shots and you're like, oh, why am I standing in my office?
Yeah. Hey, you can go and no one's stopping you.
Well, we got some more images to go through.
Yeah. When we're done with this, you can head out there.
Okay, good. Now I'm going to Hawaii, so I'm gonna get my road trip in.
Yeah.
You know, right off the bat, I love this image, the leading line to the stream. I think that's great. This is an image that I think has too much stuff going on in it, even though there's the stream there.
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest is let's crop off the trees, use just the stream, crop a little bit off the right, off the top, so we lose that skyline. Increase the saturation a bit because I think the image is a bit undersaturated, and then we have a really nice image of the stream leading from the lower left, leading us off into the distance, helping us our eyes follow through there. I think that could help us a lot.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Bringing it down a little bit. And again, just like the other image is to pick a subject for this image. Who is the subject? And the subject in this one, in my opinion, is, you're right, it's clearly that stream that's flowing through there. So put your focus on that. I actually really like the reflection of the trees in the water there. So if you do the crop that you're talking about, it increases the tension and the mystery, because you're like, oh, I can't really see all the trees in reality, but in reflection, I can see the sky and the trees. So yeah, I dig it.
And then cool. I'm wondering if she's processing these at all in post. The metadata. See, we can see your metadata.
Mm-hmm.
Says Photoshop, which doesn't say Lightroom. So I'm wondering if she went from Lightroom to Photoshop, or she just sized them in Photoshop and didn't do any post-processing. Andrea, let us know. Are you post-processing these at all, or are these straight out of camera?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know that as well. And if you are post-processing, what are you doing to that? What are you doing? What's your flow? Your process flow. Cool. Andrea, good job. Thank you for submitting both of those images. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one is from member Matthew Moore. He hasn't put a title on this one, but let's bring it back. Nice little waterfall here.
Very cool. Again,
you want to be there.
I want to be there.
You want to put a model in there. You want to put a model. You would put a model like frolicking in the water at the bottom, or showering in that upper waterfall drizzle up there.
Yeah, maybe. This is such a cool landscape shot, though. I really love a lot of the stuff that's going on in here with the reflection and the leaves in the water, and I like the fact that the waterfall is off to the right. So we're using sort of those rule of thirds kind of thing. So that's our primary hook. And then we have this red, maybe a Japanese maple or something in the lower left third. That's like our secondary hook. I really like that a lot. And it's a contrast to the green and the yellows that are in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My biggest challenge with this image is that it's flat. The tonality is flat all the way across the image. So a little dodging and burning could really help this image a lot. One, pump the saturation. That's going to help you because it'll bring out those reds. And two, dodge everything but the waterfall. And now when you look at the image, your eye will go to the waterfall. And that's really where you want everybody to look. And that's sort of the sweet spot of this image.
Yeah. I agree. I love it. I love the wall of vegetation. It's just like, life. It's just a wall of life growing there with water. This is earth. This is what it's all about. Water and vegetation and life coming up. But I agree with you. Yeah. If you making that waterfall pop out to make it more obvious that it is the subject of this image. I kind of oscillate in both directions though. Cause taking a step back and looking at this image as an overall whole, and I mean, creating emphasis on the waterfall so that it pops out more. Yes. Absolutely. That would make it a great image. But I kind of like the look of just this being like a chop out of a rainforest, and just like, you have no idea what's going on around this scene here, and to just use the whole thing as a subject. It's right.
You're right. No,
the whole thing is and the waterfall becomes just a player in this overall scene, because you have that nice reddish kind of amber tree in the foreground, and you got a lighter tree in the top there, and then all this lush greenery. If you saturate it a little bit more, it's just like, look at all this vegetation that's going on, that's fed by obviously lots of H2O there. So I could go either direction. Yeah, I could go either direction. I like it though. This is really cool.
I would say if you get a chance, Matthew, to go back and photograph this, if you can, try a longer exposure with this. Because you shot this at ISO 500 at 500th of a second. So there's plenty of light in there, but not too much. You could definitely bring this down. I don't know what your aperture is because it doesn't tell me. But try a slower shutter speed. The water, just the surface of the water will go beautiful, reflective. You know, you can, yeah, this is a place that I would spend a lot of time at if you could.
Yeah. No, good work. Good work. All right, Matthew Moore. All right, the next image is from Craig Stampley. He calls this one a gentle Australian wave. A gentle Australian. It almost, when I look at this one, it's almost moving. Like it feels like it's actually animated. There's so much motion in there. My eyes are like, is this moving or is it not moving? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I am obsessed with waves. I don't want to go in the water. I have no desire to be wet. But I love the shape and the form of waves, and I shoot them intensely anytime I get a chance to. So
I'm getting an image of you, Troy. You're a fire spirit. Fire's natural enemy is water. So for some reason, I don't know why I don't like water. I don't know. I like to look at it, but keep it away from me.
Yeah, I know. You know, this is the kind of stuff I love to create. I love to shoot. I shoot lots and lots and lots of waves, and I love the abstract that's in the ocean and those kind of things. So, I mean, this one right away appealed to me, and it looks amazing in color or black and white because of the shapes and everything.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would suggest to Craig at this point is I see two images in this image. One, the way that you presented it here, which is kind of everything. And then a second, if you crop down from the top and get rid of the top edge of the wave, it becomes even more abstract. And I like it even more.
Oh.
I don't need to see the top of the wave and then the white brightness behind that. What I really I love is just sort of that sweet spot right below. And then just with the image in front of me, I tweaked the saturation a little bit to bring out some of those warms that are reflecting in the water in the foreground, and that helped out a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure you've got a series of these, and these are the best. These are just great.
Yeah, no, I dig it too. Yeah, I actually don't have much to comment on this image. I like it very much like it is because I actually like that ridge in there. It's almost going through the lower third, or no, the rule of thirds line in the upper part of the image. So it gives it that nice balance to it. And I look at it, like I said, I can feel the motion in there, and then it looks like motion, and it looks like waves at the same time, and it looks painterly but not. So yeah, it is really good. It's definitely an artistic abstract shot, you know, that is just waves, you know, like you said, a gentle Australian wave is really cool. I mean, I don't know if it being Australian has any merit on or any bearing. Because
it has an accent. So
it has an accent. Oh, is it flowing in the opposite direction than other waves?
I can tell you that when I'm in Hawaii, I will be shooting an abundance of waves if I have an opportunity. I will be there for hours.
Yeah, good work, Craig Stampley.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This next image is from Howard, and he's titled this one, Looking Up from the Swings. Looking Up from the Swings.
Very cool. Very interesting perspective. I love the story. I love the idea of what's going on here. And initially, I wasn't quite sure what it was from the thumbnail. But, you know, coming into it now, I can really get a good sense of it.
Yep.
I think for me, I'm struggling with so much sky above the beam. I think the story really is, you know, the beam and then the swing attached there. That would really help me a lot if we were more under the swing and the beam was like across the very top. I feel like, you know, it's splitting right through the middle. So we're kind of, the upper sky really doesn't add anything to this.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. And then that black cable that's running right through there, or, you know, power line or clothesline or whatever it is, repelling line. need to take that out. It really does just kind of kill the shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have said the same thing. Yeah, like if I was to change anything about this, it would have been, yeah, get maybe down a little lower. I'm not exactly sure the angle he's at, but to make, I want to see more of the chains, and I yeah, absolutely would have moved that beam up higher, because you don't really necessarily need that much sky in there, especially if you're shooting from low and you have some sky, so people will understand that this is a perspective shot. But yeah, I 100% agree with you that horizontal line running through the image there, it is a huge detractor to the overall image, and relatively easy to remove in Photoshop, right? So
yes,
how would you remove
mostly.
that? What tool would you use to remove that in Photoshop if this were your image?
I would probably use the Band-Aid tool.
Mm-hmm.
And let it do sort of a smart grab. The challenge with removing them on something like this is you have different tonality in the cloud, and you have to be very careful where you pick from and how you clone it in, because you'll see the line when you take it out. Your brain loves lines and just connecting things together, and if you don't clone it out perfect, you're going to see a clone line that you removed.
Yeah.
So be patient, take your time. I think this image has a lot of merit to it. You can crop it, you can play with it, and then I think you're just gonna have even a better image.
Cool, good feedback, and thank you, Howard, for submitting your image.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, the next one up is from Mark Harris. Mark calls this one Last Light. It's called Last Light from Mark Harris.
He always has such cool models. Where does he get these?
I know.
This is
I know.
awesome.
Mark and Tim Ingle. These guys.
They do. When do we get? I want to go hang out with them. I know. Let's go.
I know. I've hung out with Tim, and it's very much like his work. Like I love it. Yeah, his studio is very much filled with beautiful people. So it's very cool.
I love it. Right away for me, I love the casualness of the pose. I love the direction of light coming in on her face. I even like that right hand, that it just sort of that casualness in there is really cool. Mm-hmm. I've played a little bit with the cropping, and whether to crop out her left arm or not helps the image. I struggle with what would be her waistline, her left waistline, knowing that if you were to drop that left elbow into her body a little bit, her left hand wouldn't be dangling out over. It would be resting on her knee. And that would make that left arm a little bit more comfortable. Mm-hmm. It feels a little bit not unnatural. Natural is wherever you put it, but I feel like it would add to the pose. It would create a nice V with her arms leading up to her face.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Yeah.
Yep. I tend to agree with you on that. Yeah, that was going to be my comment as well. The other one was, it feels like it's maybe a half a stop underexposed, and I don't know if that was intentional or not. But when I look at her face, which is the human tendency is naturally go to the eyes, right? So when I look at her eyes, she looks like she has these fantastic eyes, those light eyes that are kind of vampirish. It's like people with those eyes, I just can't stop looking at those eyes, and I want to see more of them in there. So her right eye is kind of underexposed or obscured in shadow a little bit. So maybe bring that shadow area up a little bit in Lightroom. But these are all nitpicks and quibbles. In the end, it's the artist's vision and what he wanted to do with this. If Mark,
right?
If Mark was like, I want to create an image that is slightly underexposed because I want to show that this was kind of a dark area that she's sitting in with a glint of light hitting her in the face, and the rest of her is sort of de-emphasized, then that's perfectly fine, right? But yeah, this is cool, and plus she's got that cool red hair too. So
yeah. Well, for me, I right away I brought the shadows down. I mean, because I brought it in the capture one. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to bring the shadows down.
Oh, you emphasized that. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because then what I did is I brought down so that the exposure on the left side of her face was even better, and darkened her forebody, and then her face and that hair just really exploded for me, and that was what I was really looking for.
Yeah.
for those that may not know, there's two types of lighting going on in here. This is short light and Rembrandt lighting, which is really amazing. So the short light is you're lighting the short side of her face, the narrow part that we can see, and then the Rembrandt is that little triangle that's under her right eye. Very, very slimming and very beautiful light quality.
Yep.
I will have to call Mark out though, because I can see his reflector in the shot on the right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mark. You could have cropped that out or cloned it or something, right? Yeah.
He put that in there just to see if we were paying attention.
That was a test. That was a test.
Yeah. Could we see something other than the girl? That's what he was trying.
And I didn't. I was looking at her face. Very cool. Good work. Awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
All right. We're in the home stretch here. Next one up is Kyle Nishioka. He calls this one Ala Moana. Is that Moana? Ala Moana Sunset.
Yeah, Ala Moana Sunset. Yeah,
let's bring this up. You may actually see this when you go out there. Right?
I'm gonna see something of that water, maybe.
Yeah.
This is, when I saw this image come up, I'm like, man, that looks like Hawaii, just the clouds and the distance and all that kind of thing. It's very, very, very nice. I love that. I really don't have a lot to add to this. What I would suggest though, to make the image that much better would be to remove the people that are on the beach in the foreground and maybe crop it off so there's no sand. So it's literally sky and horizon at the very, very, very bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that would simplify it a bit for me.
Yep. Yep. Same thing here. Yeah. Because I had to really look close to see if those were actually people. I was like, is that just like beach debris? Is that a dog or is that people? So if you have to think about that, then I would have just taken that out.
Yeah.
And I like the composition. I like the horizon in there. I like all that stuff. But yeah, the little slice of beach in there, I probably would have just got rid of it. Probably would have just got rid of that little slice of beach and had the ocean extend all the way to the right side. The interesting thing about this shot is I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to look at it in TWiP Pro here. He said, this is a vertical panorama of a sunset at Ala Moana Beach Park. The top of the frame was actually behind me when I shot the panorama. So he did one of those vertical panoramas where you're like doing the yoga articulation to go all the way up. That's kind of cool, right? It's crazy that you can do that. This is something that was not possible years ago.
No, and it's well assembled too. Panoramics can often be tough to put together. So it's the techniques are well handled. So yeah, no, it's really, really nice. I really dig it. And I think it would look really good big. This is one of those images that you want to take really big and you can just feel like you're standing in it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those that you'd see in either a travel agency office or in a hotel in Hawaii, just gigantic in the lobby, right? With some tables in front of it and, yeah, very good. Yeah, Kyle, I love how he's just taking advantage of his unfair advantage of living in Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta love it. All right, the last one is from member Fizz, and he's titled this one Galactic Overlook. Galactic Overlook. Here we go. What do you think?
Overlook. Yeah, and he made a comment about this in Slack. If I remember, it was relevant to the image.
He said, let me read it. He said, I made this on Skyline Drive in the Shenandoah National Park at a scenic overlook. One shot, no compositing. It was the first time I'd ever tried the black card ND technique to keep the car from completely blowing out.
Oh, he probably dodged it. He probably like under an enlarger, probably held the black card underneath it. And Yeah. Oh, it's a really cool shot. I always love Milky Way shots, and I hope to be able to shoot some this weekend. I like the story with the road and the leading line there and all that. I mean, that's just all of that just is so much fun. Like this random, like I'm going to pull over here and shoot. That's road trips, man. That's how road trips work. So those are so cool.
Yeah. It's just mesmerizing. You look at that You look at the edge on, from our perspective, the Milky Way arm that we're floating in right now. It's just,
right.
you know,
right.
you look at that, you know, whenever I look at these kind of shots, I tell people they kind of depress me a little bit, because I'm like, many of those stars that you're looking at, some of them are planets, some of them are galaxies actually, but many of them are no longer there, you know, and you're just looking at the light that is finally making it here. You're looking at them. And then the other thing that depresses me is we'll never get there. You know, probably, I would say definitely not in my lifetime. We're not going to figure out how to go fold space and time to get out there. but that's why we have science fiction, right?
Yeah, because we want to. Yeah, we want to be there.
Yeah. Isn't that cool, though? I love it. That's why I watch these science documentaries on astrophysics and that sort of thing all the time. A, because I'm a nerd, but B, because it's just so fascinating when you look at a sky like this, and just to know that we're in that and we're part of that. You know, we're one of those things in there. And it could be somebody on a planet out there looking back here saying, hey, look at that little bluish thing right there. What is that? You know? I wonder if there are people on it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are they doing right now?
What are they doing?
Probably something silly.
Yeah.
I would suggest to Fizz, though, that a little post-processing to this image would take it a long way. You know, if this is right out of camera, that's awesome. You know, but let's spend a little time. Let's improve it, maybe, right? So correcting the horizon, that would be a big help.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's a little overexposed. It's a little hot. So if you bring down the shadows and the midtones, you can really bring out that Milky Way even more. You know, that thing, you know, I'm playing with it right now in Capture One. It really should come down quite a bit. The horizon, take the blacks of the road almost down to black. It's opened up a little bit too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing would become super dramatic if you brought some of that stuff down. And I bet there's more detail in that horizon than there is in this original image.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree from a compositional standpoint. Fix the horizon, unless I was done intentional for some reason. But yeah, the horizon is the first thing that we're going to look at. And but you know, if he says this is one shot, you pull over to the side of the road to snap this real quick, he's concentrating on that Milky Way and getting as much of that in there as he can. You know, and probably not so much on the foreground. And if this is the entire shot with no cropping, then he's, you know, if you rotate it to fix the horizon, you're going to lose part of the Milky Way. So, you know, what do you do in that situation? If this is all you have, you know, these are all the pixels you have, is it okay to rotate, you know, and lose some of that in order to get the straight horizon? Or do you just go with it and keep the crooked horizon and just say, hey, I meant to do that because it's leading lines with the angle of the Milky Way arm and the road there.
No, I cropped it. I you know what, looking at it, I think that it can go a long way with a crop, and especially with the raw file. Oh, there's you know, that sky in between the stars are dark.
Yeah.
You get a little bleed from the city, which is great. You get that little orange bleed up through the atmosphere, but bring this down and you can really see the core of the Milky Way there. And there's lots of colors in there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is gorgeous. Yeah, it is. Lots of teals and blues and dark blues and oranges and green. Yeah, it is. Yeah, what a cool shot. Yeah, you're right. You could probably make this pop a lot with a little bit of post-processing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Fizz, for Galactic Overlook. That was fantastic. Lots of good shots, right? Lots of good shots today.
Yep.
Lots of fun in here. All right, so we have something new that we're going to do for the next critique, right?
We do.
Yeah. Why don't you, since I'm gonna let you go ahead and pick what the topic is going to be. So why don't you tell the TWiP Pro constituency what we're doing for the next critique session and how to participate.
Well, we thought it would be really cool to instigate or institute a theme so that kind of get everybody out of their comfort zone and you know, instead of picking your favorite image that you've already created, maybe to get you out and create some images just for this purpose, So me being a post-apocalyptic fan, my choice was urban decay.
Yeah.
And it can be whatever your interpretation is of urban decay, but some sense of, you know, the urban experience falling to, you know, high entropy.
Yeah.
You know, falling apart. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and just when you say urban decay, I instantly think of dilapidated building, but it doesn't necessarily have to be dilapidated building. It could be a rusty bolt, or
Sure.
or a really close up shot of paint flaking off of a surface, or something like that. If you want to get tight or go wide, and you know, it's a city scene with one building that's falling apart in the right hand. So, you know, something like that. So you can be creative with it. You don't necessarily have to lock yourself into saying, hey, I got to go find an abandoned building and snap a shot of it. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's urban decay is around us all the time. I mean, the moment you build it, when you walk away, it starts to decay. It starts to weather. So those type of things that show some experience, you know, an old bench or a swing, a tree swing, or something of that nature. There's just it's a wide gamut of options.
Oh yeah, yeah, rusty bench or whatever. You know, it could be a trash can. You know, an interpretation of a trash can that's been weathered, or like a one of those. What do you call those? Like those big oil drums. You know, that they put oil in, that are just kind of beat up and distressed. Anything distressed, right? I think.
Oh yeah. And unfortunately, I won't be here to do the critique.
You will not. You will not.
No.
Yeah. Where will you be? Like in a place where there's probably not a whole lot of urban decay, right?
I'll actually be in an airplane probably on my way back.
That's right, from Hawaii, right?
Yeah, maybe not that early, but yeah, we're coming back on Tuesday, so
yeah. So
you guys will have critiqued, so I won't know.
Yeah, yeah.
How my idea goes.
So we'll either put in a surrogate for you, Troy Miller, or we'll hold off and wait for you to get back to do the urban decay, since you picked this one. It's your baby, you know. It's your baby.
Yeah, I wanna submit. I want to shoot an image for it too, so I'll try to get one in.
Okay, well maybe we'll hold off, you know, so that we can get you in here. Cool. Awesome. All right, man. Well, cool. Thanks a lot. Anything you want to share as to like what's going on otherwise, other than you getting ready to get on that plane and, you know, get that awesome airport food?
No, you know, I just want to kudos to everybody for submitting their images again. I mean, we say that all the time, but it is such a cool thing to put your images in there and, you know, challenge yourself. Keep doing that. If you guys want to check out anything that I'm doing, just go to spicyjello.com or spicyjello on Instagram, and you can hit me up, and or better yet, on the TWiP Pro community. I'm there all the time, 24/7. I never sleep. So if you're in there, you can you can chat with me, send me pictures, we'll talk, whatever. I'm there for you guys.
Love it. Thanks for doing that, man. Cool. Perfect. And thanks for coming on. This has been another fantastic TWiP Pro critique session. All right, folks. Remember, if you're a TWiP Pro member, just head over to the #photo critique channel, upload your image in there, and we will review it in the very next episode. We typically do these recordings on Mondays, like it is Monday now, Monday afternoon. So if you get them in Sunday evening, you have a really good chance of getting eyes on. All right, and that's it for this. This is TWiP Pro Critique number 15. Yeah, that's it for this episode. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. This is TWiP.